Yes, well, welcome everyone to the second Living the Experiment series event. Today, the topic is your questions answered, and I'm joined by Sabina. Sabina, would you like to say hey?
Hello, all, and welcome. It's great to be here.
Yes. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruth Brennan. I'm a IHDS certified analyst and teacher, the heretic investigator, sacral generator. Yeah, and I am thrilled to be hosting this series, which will continue each month on the third Monday. Just a little housekeeping. I will be sending an email out after the event with a link where you can find the video if you'd like to rewatch this. And I'm eternally grateful for Sabina Abreo to be joining me. She is also a certified analyst and teacher and a student of many, many different things. And we'll get to hear some of those deeper insights later on today as we answer some questions. Sabina is a splenic projector, right? The hermit heretic. And I've known Sabina a long time. She is a bright light in the human design world. So thank you again, Sabina. So I asked you to submit questions ahead of time if you had any, and we are lucky to have had quite a few. And I'm going to open it up for additional questions if we have time. Yeah. So Isabel, and Isabel isn't with us, but that doesn't mean we won't answer your question, Isabel. Isabel asked, if I'm living my design, why do I feel confused or like things aren't working out? My guess is a lot of us have felt that way, if we don't now. Um, well, confusion is a natural state for us humans. It's part of the abstract process of reflecting on things that have happened and trying to find a resolution, find the wisdom, the answer. You know, will this make sense to me? So I think confusion is a natural state. Uh, if you're living your design, right, it's important to realize that you cannot have resolution in the moment, on the spot, in your own timing. Confusion is a process. And I invite you to just witness the confusion and let it be. And hopefully it will resolve itself over time. Uh, I never mind being confused. Right? One of the gifts human design has given to me is to be able to witness, to observe how my mind works and how it works through things and let it just do its thing. Yeah. Why aren't things working out? Well, that's, a mental question. Mm-hmm. Things will work out or not in their own timing. Again, I mean, that's sounds like a standard answer for everything, but it's really true. Living your design takes patience, it takes observation, and it takes surrendering to the intelligence of your form and allowing things to proceed, right, at their own pace. Sabina, as a projector, what might you say to Isabel about her confusion and things not working out?
Thank you for inviting me to answer this. I would say that once you begin living your design, it's a process. It's a process of, 7-year cycles and 7-year cycles. And the first 3.5 years, yeah, that confusion is there, especially how Ruth has described, and also this is the time when we are relearning how to let go of our mind's control so that the mind can do its job, what it is here for, ultimately. In addition to that, I would like you to observe your own signature and signposts. And those would be such supportive tools in this bag of yours for living this experiment. And I wish you well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sabina. Well said. All right, hang on. I'm going to try to go back to the slide so we can all see the questions. Yeah, so Isabel, please feel free to uh, drop me a line if you would like more clarification, or if you can give me a more specific example, I'd be happy to meet up with you. Nicola, is Nicola with us? I don't see Nicola. Nicola asks, will someone with the cross of planning, I'm assuming here that you mean their natal incarnation cross, will they experience the shift into the cross of the sleeping phoenix any differently from other people? Right. And I assume you're talking about the global cycle shift coming in 2027. Well, Ra taught us that everyone will experience it differently. And through the lens of my perspective, if you were born on the cross of planning, the background frequency has been very supportive and comfortable as far as the frequency goes, right? And as we shift from that very tribal, supportive background frequency into a more individual frequency, you may notice it. You may notice it. And someone who has the cross of the sleeping phoenix may resonate more with the upcoming cycle or not. Yeah, it's a background frequency, and everyone experiences differently through the lens of their individual design. But it's really about the environment, the global environment, and what's coming in. Will it feel supportive? Will it feel differently? Right? Only you have the answer to that. Yeah. Sabina, do you have anything that you would like to add to that?
As a rave cosmology student, this is such a good question, actually. And what I have observed and discovered for my personal self is human design actually gives us this tool to navigate what is breaking down and what might be coming in through the next global cycle. So, as you mentioned, Ruth, I totally agree with you. Each of our personal designs and how we are observing and experiencing the shift is so unique too.
Yeah, thank you, Sabina. It's pretty obvious when you look around the world that you can see these changes coming. That I'd be surprised if there are many people who don't feel the change that's coming. like the sands are shifting beneath our feet a little bit as we break down the old so we can bring in the new. Human design came in when it did to help us make that transition, right? Not only for ourselves, but perhaps, right, the new type of beings that will be born, right, after February of next year. So, all right, what is next? Let's see. Jennifer, let me check here. Jennifer, are you here? No. Oh, what a shame. I love this question. What are your thoughts about AI with human design? What are some good systems and what are some to definitely avoid? Wow, what a hot topic and very timely. And I'm not sure, well, I have my opinion. So let me just share that. AI can be an extraordinary resource, a tool to get information, much like the definitive book or the line companion, or one of my very favorite books, the Black Book, the first book that Ra actually wrote. Great reference materials. And however, AI is not the same as the frequency of us sharing information person to person through the lens of experience and experimentation. So if I use AI, I always preface my prompts with, please only use the source material from Ra Uru. And then I ask my question. Because if you don't preface a prompt that it should only look at Ra's original teachings, you're going to get a compilation of every adjusted system, every person who has learned about human design and put their own take on it. You're going to get everything, and it may be jumbled, inaccurate, or incomplete. And I'm not here to say any of that is wrong, right? You use your own authority to decide what's correct for you, what you want to believe, adopt, use. But this is an IHDS event. I am an IHDS instructor, and I like to look at Ra's source material and make my decisions or use his words. I must say that looking at Ra quotes can also just be very confusing because it depends upon the context that he was answering the question in. And so he can say one thing in one event or lecture and say something a little perhaps contradictory in another, but it's not. It was the context and also, his evolution of the system as he worked through getting the tremendous amount of knowledge that he was given out into the world. At Jovian, they have, what do they call it? AI Ra. We can be pretty sure that that is all source material from Ra. So I just caution if you use AI to be very specific where you want AI to look for the answers to the questions that you're asking. Sabina?
I agree with you absolutely that it should be a personal decision, because ultimately that is what this system, this human design system, is empowering us with. For me personally, I don't use AI for human design. I might use it depending on what my necessity might be, but following my own personal authority. So for me, the source transmission as well as the living transmission which my teachers as well as my mentor they provide me with as support is much more cellularly supportive for my own navigation, but ultimately the decision is a very ultimate personal thing. So use
Mm,
your own personal authority in deciding.
mm. Yes, I would take that advice, Sabina. Yeah, what a hot topic AI is these days. For me, I self-studied human design for almost a year. So I got a lot of information, but it didn't make sense. I couldn't really put it to use until I got to talk to a human. You know, the human connection and the conversations and the reflections are what helped me start to integrate the human design system into my life. But that was me. So sorry you weren't here, Jennifer. Yeah. All right. What is next? Nicolay. Yes, are you here? No. Oh no. Are you here, Nicolay?
No.
No. Ah, what a shame. Great question. Yeah, this will be fun. Uh, he asked, where do we have sex? Male, female in human design. I think he meant, can you look at a chart, and tell what sex it is? And the truth of the matter is, when you look at a body graph, you can't tell the age and you can't tell the biological sex, right? However, right, did you know that all fetuses start out as females?
Mhm.
Yeah. And the sexual determination shows up in the design of pregnancy, right? Which is a fascinating topic. If you haven't delved into it, it's part of the differentiation degree. And we luckily have Sabina here who can add some context to this. During the first trimester or between weeks 9 and 11, um, sexual determination begins with gate 3, right? It begins in gate 3, and Ra did describe the fetus as initially female, with sexual differentiation beginning near the end of the first trimester in weeks 9 to 11. And at that point, some fetuses will remain female and some will develop along the male pathway. Of course, we know it's initiated by genetic factors, most notably the SRY gene, which would trigger the development of testes and the hormones that guide male sexual development. Um, yeah, the design of pregnancy is fascinating. Sabina, you want to add a few more tidbits to this? Because I find, yeah, it's so very interesting.
Yeah. So as a student from the differentiation degree program, uh, this is such a beautiful topic. Actually, one of the core, I would say, curiosities which we have about humanity, about life processes. So, although we cannot directly see as to, oh, which gate is male or which gate is female, but it is all about the observable differences versus the genes, because there are certain gates where we get to see the difference of how the behavior or the nature of uh, the genders actually show up as, like how they identify themselves, how they think, how they care and nurture, and even cycles like the gate 42. Women have cycles, the male species they don't. So that's a interesting and fun question. So thank you for asking that. How does this sound,
Yeah,
Ruth?
very interesting, Sabina. Thank you. And yeah, I invite everyone, if you're curious, to have a look at sometimes Dr. Andrea Regal-Wolf uh, will have a special course in general education on topics like this. I know she's done
Mhm.
design of mammals, design of insects, design of reptiles, as well as design of pregnancy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what's next? Pam. Pam asks, and Pam, I think I saw you here. Uh, Earth gates. What should you be aware of if your Earth gates are in undefined centers? Do you have access to the grounding quality when you're alone? Yeah. Pam, you're here. Say hi.
I think this was a different Pam. I didn't put a question in.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
No,
I'm sorry. I just have first
I
names.
know.
Well, thanks for saying hi.
Yeah, hi.
So, right, the personality sun, right, is the light that is grounded into form with the earth. Such a It's a very good question. It's a question that is asked very often in foundation courses. Of course, we have access to absolutely everything around the mandala, whether it's imprinted in our design or not. So if you have an unconscious earth gate, your grounding is not consistent, reliable, and always accessible. However, we commune with people, we have connections, and there are always the transits. So, yes, you do have access, right, temporarily to the grounding, but not consistently alone. I like to think of it as, we're all designed to commune with one another. We're here uh, to interact with everyone around us or many around us. And so you will have access in many, many different ways to your grounding force. It's a good thing to be in relation with the correct others. Candy, hey there. Do you have a question or a comment?
I do have a question regarding this because my Earth is in an undefined solar plex, but I am a full moon person. So it is directly opposing my sun that's in my sacral, which is very strong in my chart. It defines my integration. And when you have planets that are opposing another planet, and especially this, I had never thought about this till this question was asked. And so this is kind of personal to me, but maybe other people have experienced some of the opposition poles. How does that work in the grounding? Does with the opposing with my sun that's in, and it's very strong versus the undefined, and it's in gate 55, so it's going to get activated with the global cycle shift. So but generally when there's an opposition in the chart to something like the sun, which is 70% of how we function in the world, just your thoughts on that, because I hadn't really, I've known it astrologically what it means because I studied astrology, and I've more or less understood it through human design, but I've never asked this specific question before.
Well, of course, without seeing your actual chart, it's going to be difficult for me to answer with any sort of specificity. Gate 55, right, in the upcoming global chart is a background frequency. It's not going to necessarily activate your design, but you may feel the influence. And whenever they're it's opposition in the wheel, but it's not the harmonic, right? I would imagine, do you have gate 39 in the root center, Candy?
No, I do not.
All right. That
remind me what 30. Oh, 39. I have to look at my chart because I don't remember if I don't have that, but I can't remember where it is in the root.
So it's individual, right?
We have 39, 15, 39, 55, the 39, right. Yeah. I had to take a second. Yeah.
They're the opposing. If you had that, I would see that would pull gate 55 to you a lot. But you're designed, when you operate correctly, align to your frequency,
right?
Follow your strategy and authority. You are naturally designed to connect with people who have that energy for you, that grounding force. So it would be like everything else, being in the right place at the right time with the right people provide you with, right, the grounding of your light.
Interesting. I noticed that people with gate 59 or 39 in their chart pull from me my experiences. If that makes any sense. It's because the spirit of my life versus the practical side of my life. And I'm a writer and a poet. So when I have that 39 activating it, that's interesting. I just, I always wondered, I didn't always wonder, I just had the thought. So thank you for taking time to answer that question.
Of course. Thank you for asking. Sabina, do you have anything you'd like to add?
For Candace or for our Pam?
Anything, right? That your instinct and intuition pulls.
So if we mentally continuously try to think of, my grounding is not happening, my grounding is not happening.
Right.
Well, that is a mental story because the mind is still trying to control this. But as Ruth mentioned, that we are, made to commune with each other, especially if you are, a generative being, a generator aura type, or a projector aura type. And of course, our manifestor aura types and our reflectors, they always have all of those undefined centers. But it is ultimately our own strategy and personal authority, which it's like a guarantee that we do get our grounding through others or through the transit. But when it comes to our design side grounding of our body, it's something which is, I would like to advocate that PHS following or going through a radical transformation clinic and getting the support for your determination, for how well you can nurture and feed this design, can really help with that grounding even more. And so on and so forth.
And I highly recommend it for people that haven't done it. It is helpful to understand that. So that is a wonderful point, Sabina.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabina.
Let me have to meditate on this one, I think.
There you go. Observe it, Candy, in your life when you feel more grounded. What's going on? Who are you with? What is your mind telling you? By the way, Andrea does have a radical transformation clinic on the schedule under general education for September. Starts near the end of the month, if you're interested. Yeah. So let's see. Marcia, please elaborate on how human design should work for mental projectors. We do have an authority, but we can't rely on others to guide us. Such an interesting question. And Marcia, are you here? No, Marcia, not here with us today. That's too bad. So mental projectors, and Marcia, if I remember correctly, you have head, ajna, and throat connected, right? So environmental authority or sounding board authority, everything open or undefined below the throat. Mental projectors, yeah, definitely can be supported by being in the right place with the right people to get the right correct conditioning, right? And it is by talking through your decisions with your trusted circle that you can start to hear your truth. But the most important thing I would say is to feel really good in your environment. Mm-hmm. Right? And we're not asking for advice or answers or judgment or anything when we're using the sounding board authority. We're looking for someone who perhaps could ask you the right questions that could let you process out loud, right, without filtering it through the mind, so that you get to hear, right, your own answers. Yeah. Correct environment, right? In the right place with the right people at the right time, feeling very supportive. We'll ask our projector co-host here in a moment to answer this, but being with the right people in the right place, right, conditions you in a very supportive way, right? It gives you recognition, and that recognition helps open the door to your truth. I know, Sabina, you're going to recommend the radical transformation again, which is a good point. What else can you say? Tips of the trade for mental projectors.
My dear mental projector, my friend, my species. Okay, all my joking aside, your signature and your signpost really does play a big picture in your process. If you're feeling the resistance in that environment, you will know you're not in the correct environment, so you might not meet the correct people who are supposed to be there for you. And for a mental projector, it is so essential to have that that observation, that sort of understanding of your signpost and your signature.
Yeah.
Bitterness and success.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I don't remember who this quote is from. I don't want to say raw, and I want to say raw. It's every projector knows when the key fits.
Yeah.
There is this feeling, right? Somebody sees me for who I am.
Yes. And also, we used to have Not Here to Work, a general education program by Ella.
Mhm.
And in that, there was a point which she made, a great reminder. And this was also from Ra, that understanding when that recognition and invitation is not there. Exactly as you said, that key fits or not, that plug connects today or not. So it is your environment which matters. Also, additionally, as a mental projector, not giving into the pressure to make a decision right now, right here is so important. We can not have an expectation on any of our mental projectors as well as our emotional authorities that, hey, you have to make the decision in this particular time frame. It is all your own timing. And you know when your decision has been made because you
Mm.
have gone through your own process in the correct environment with your correct trusted people who don't judge you, who don't put you down, who don't poke at you that, oh, come on, be done with it. So
Mm.
I wish you well on experimenting with this and finding that sweet spot for yourself.
Yeah. And I'm sure sorry that you're not here with us, Marcia. Would have been nice to see you again. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Marcia, excuse me. Leslie. Leslie asks, the response strategy, is it still a response if I respond to something that comes across my path versus being asked an outright question? Let me check here. Is Leslie here? Let me look.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
here.
Oh, Leslie. Yay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. So are you a generator, Leslie?
Yes, and my name is Leslie, not Leslie. Just as an FYI.
Leslie.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a 4-1 sacral generator, and I mean I know when I try to force things, so this particular thing that I'm thinking of, it wasn't that, but it's just a general question on how to use the response strategy.
Hmm. Well, generators are here. Their strategy is to wait to respond, wait for things to come to you from outside of you.
Okay.
That movement from outside your energetic field, your aura, into your aura triggers the sacral response. Right. So that's a generator's life. You are in harmony with the flow of life as it comes to you, not pushing. That's a general statement. For me, I really resonate with that, right? Going through the day plugged in, it's like I feel like I'm sitting in my wonderful aura and just going with my response here or there. That's a general state of being. Decision making is similar, but kind of different because that triggers a yes or no, right? The or
Yep.
Me. So a decision making, right, requires a yes or no to get that sacral response, right? And that's your truth. That's the point at which you can follow your response towards a correct experience, that there is energy to complete, right? And as always, just because it's doesn't mean it's going to be rainbows and unicorns. It's going to be the correct experience for you on your path to purpose. So does that answer your question, Leslie? Is there a nuance I missed?
No, no, you got it. It was more, just thinking about like how I came across human design and all of that. And I've gotten myself very into it now, but it's not like somebody asked me directly, hey, did you hear about this thing? And are you interested? It was just someone I know happened to mention it, but not directly to me. So I was just very curious about that.
Yeah, a similar thing happened to me. I was on the internet uh, doing a search on the Gnostics. And with my undefined head, ooh, something flashes over here. I click on it, something over there. I click on it. I landed on a raw video. And I went, uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, exactly. It is, and I think Linda Bonnell told me this story that she moved to a new residence and she found it strictly by following her response, driving, turning, right? She landed in this magical place strictly through response.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sabina, anything to add or
I
not?
think so. Candice had maybe a question, a follow-up question or something like that.
Candice, did you
My,
have?
well, I really appreciate the question, Leslie, because I am a generator and I am moved physically. Like I can say, where did I put my phone? And my body will go find it for me. I letting go. I think the biggest challenge I've had is to understand the difference between asking the question and intuitively responding because something comes to me. And I'm in the middle of a really big shift in my life. And all I've done is respond to what's come to me without asking yes and no questions because it's like my body, there is a sense when we get presented that. But I found in the past, especially in the beginning with my strategy and authority, I would get lost in the confusion of yes and no and skip my intuition, like skip what came to me and listen to everybody else. And so this is always the challenge with human design when you are stepping into it new, especially, is being able to navigate between listening to other people because we're conditioned to do that. We're conditioned by our environment and stuff, and then trusting ourselves. And I think what human design, the gift it has given to me, is to trust myself and trust that the universe is on my side and whatever comes to me, if I take time, I will know. I will know, like in my very cellular level, the direction to go with it. And it isn't always easy. And it doesn't always make everybody happy.
Yeah.
But being true to yourself and being authentic is the greatest gift human design gives us, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think anything even comes close to the other gifts that come to us through this practice and being willing to trip and make mistakes along the way and being kind and patient. I mean, I'm entering my third 7-year cycle. So I totally appreciate the confusion and how hard it is to navigate letting go of old tapes and mental jabberings, looping that come in. So I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm just really grateful because it just suddenly just clarified. It's like washing a dirty window and it just clarified everything. So thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.
And thank you, Sabina, for noticing because my lower thing isn't working. I didn't know if you guys were seeing what I was asking or whatever, but thank you.
Okay, what's next? Some great questions, huh? Okay.